Good evening. Just checking the broadcast levels. If an important thing here is if you see that I start one then delete it, it's because I have some audio issues in the background, and it's much easier to scrap the other one. Otherwise, when people review it later, they get like 5, 10 minutes of me sorting this stuff out. So I do apologize for that. If you do see a video disappear for a live stream, it's purely because I've gone away, sorted it out, and then come back to it, because I'm just making sure that everything's working fine. We've got no issues. Like now, it looks like the audio is okay now, which means they're going to the actual audio here. It should be fine. I just want to double check, then we'll. Yeah, because what I get is the electronic sound, and obviously, when I'm speaking, I mean, I've already cut the video out because, quite simply, the internet's so bad here. And if I cut the audio out as well, there wouldn't be a lot left because it goes robotic when it goes faulty. So I have to test it every now and again just to make sure we haven't had anything distort it. So what's these vlogs about? An important note there. If you do find that the sound's going distorted, let me know. But tonight, I've got every electronic device in the house in front of me, so I know everything's switched off. But these Brit and Spain updates will be basically stuff people have asked me, or stuff that people ask me in the live chat as we go along, as well as what's going on during the week. Basically, I'm going to try and keep them down to say 30 minutes to an hour, because it's very easy to keep things rolling, but sometimes it does get a bit too long. Because I know with my Philippine stuff, it does get too long on a regular basis. But first thing I want to kick off with is somebody said to me this week, are you rich? You must be rich to live in Spain. The answer is no. The reality is, I make money through multiple avenues. We've got apartments for rent out in the Philippines. I make money online. I also are going to start doing the English teaching as well. So I've got multiple revenue streams. So that's roughly where I get my money from. So it's not a case of you have to be wealthy. I'm not sitting on the beach every day. I know that's how the UK tabloids love to post the expats in Spain, the pensioners or whatever. They just sit around on the beach all day. They don't, but if they did, they had already paid for it. They worked their lives. They've already paid for their pensions. But the cost of living in Spain, I find, is less than the UK. That's the end of. It's as simple as that. Our costs here currently for the apartment, food, schooling, etc., runs at €900 a month. So that's basically it. It's actually cheaper than the UK. My rent in the UK would cost about that on its own, never mind the council tax and everything else. So that's why we can afford to live here. As long as you can make money in Spain, you can survive in Spain. If you ever watch that TV show, Bargain Loving Brits, you'll see a lot of those people they're getting by, but at the same time they're content because they're in a location they're happy to live. They're in a location where they have a good community there. It's not about keeping up with the Joneses. It's just about enjoying life. And I think that's the thing with Spain. It's more about enjoying life than anything else. And that's it for me. So, no, I'm not wealthy. I would say that I'm pretty much at a point where what people have got with their state pension when they get retired, I make on some incomes already. I'm already at that stage. I could actually be a pensioner in the monetary sense of not having to work full time or whatever. But at the same time, I've got a wife, I've got kids, and the important thing for me is the kids and the wife experience Spain and get the most out of it. It's the same as me. Sitting doing my Spanish lessons in the background earlier. Did my 20 minutes a day. I want to embrace the country. Somebody else brought up tonight because there's a giant burger. I got home. I didn't know what my wife had ordered. So when I got home and there was just this huge burger, I was just, what is that? But it was on the menu, so we ordered it. Was it good? I would say I was expecting to have a few patés in there and then put it on the top, a big bun, but it I could only eat 1/4 of it. I ate one slice of it, like a cake slice. The rest of it's gone in the fridge and freezer because that'll last me over a week. That's way too much for me. But, yeah, that's the thing, I do find a lot of the portions, especially in the holiday areas, are huge. I It's a lot more than I normally get in a lot of places I eat in the UK. But, relating to Spanish food, do I eat Spanish food? Yes, I do. We normally have paella Friday, or as paella. I also eat dried fish. I eat a lot of the stuff that we have locally because we'll have like anchovies in a salad and stuff like that as well. So the answer to that, yeah, I do eat Spanish food. It's just that we haven't eaten out much on the old Spanish food front. It's all been produce that's in the house, because we've mainly been eating in the house because most of the restaurants in this area are tourist orientated. So they're tourist orientated. So the problem you get with tourist orientation, a lot of it's around tourism. It's not. So you do want to for good Spanish food. I'm not knocking the restaurants in the area. I'm just saying for more authentic stuff, I do have to travel around a little bit more than we do. But what we find is we eat mainly in this area because the kids have got school. So we've always got that thing of getting back for them getting them off the school bus. So yeah, but we had planned on doing it this weekend. We're actually going to eat local food at some local, well, a couple of local restaurants. But what happened on Friday? Well, Friday we had to go up to Alicante for our appointment with the uh, immigration because April and the kids' residencies was there. We had to we're processing for that now. What I would say with that was Alicante was a lot easier to deal with than the guys down in Torrevieja, but I would say the probably guys in the Torrevieja probably get a bit more grief, just at a guess. But at the same time, I do find that up in Alicante, they understand there's actually a criteria for people that earn money outside of Spain. The reason I bring this up is Torrevieja wouldn't refuse to recognize it. And it's just bizarre now. The criteria they want is very easy and achievable now because most of my income comes from outside of Spain. I don't make a lot of money in Spain purely because where we are, the opportunities are fairly limited work-wise because obviously you're either self-employed or working for somebody else. Well, obviously outside the holiday season, it's not exactly bustling. And during the holiday season, it's mainly waiter work and stuff like that, stuff that wouldn't pay enough to meet the criteria for residency anyway. So that was a bit of a problem. I managed to get it through in Torrevieja in the end when they could understand the banking and everything else, but it took a long time for them to understand it. Um, but now doing the same with Alicante, but I think with Alicante it's going to be a bit easier to process the paperwork because they actually understand people earn money outside of Spain. But obviously, if you've got Benidorm and Alicante up there, they probably may have a lot more people that commute, like got weekly commuters going backwards and forwards to the UK or wherever. So I wouldn't say they're more laid back. I think they just have a broader knowledge. So that's a plus thing for us because it takes a lot of the stress off. It means something we can get done. And once April's paperwork's finished, she can start work. Why is it important April starts work? Well, for us, we want April and the kids to become Spanish citizens. We're here for the long haul. So part of that is actually showing that she can stand on her own 2 feet, etc., etc. So that's why it's important because in the next couple of years we will be filing to become citizens of Spain, which, in all honesty, I don't see it being an issue because April can teach online. She's actually taught some people already English for when I'm had to do an exam for her work, and she passed the exam, got a really good grade, etc. So April can already earn her own money. It's just the fact is we don't want to get in any trouble with the immigration and stuff when you're trying to sort all the paperwork out. Once you're through the door, ticked all the boxes, relax, have a cup of tea. Um, so yeah, so we were going to Alicante. Van breaks down. Important thing in Spain, you have to have recovery on your vehicle. I know when we drove down from France originally, my recovery was separate. I had green flag separate, but now I think the Spanish car insurance is actually built into the insurance to have the recovery. So we, you just call up your insurance company, they send out a tow vehicle, and they take the vehicle back for you. The annoying thing is, I know it's a simple problem on the vehicle. I changed the fuel filter on Saturday, and it still won't start. But I know it's to do with the fuel line. There's probably a block pipe or something's fell off somewhere on the old pipeline to the fuel tank. So I've just got to find where it is. It's something really stupid and simple, but linking thing to find it. But that's the downside of an old vehicle. Plus side, it's already paid for. There's no payments left on it, which is why our payments, our running costs are €900 a month. We bought a new car, can add another couple €100 a month paying the car off. So I like the way we've got it set up. Although we have our issues with the vehicle, like the fuel filter. I actually had one here because when I had some problems last year, I ordered some parts off eBay. So I've had a few vehicle parts already primed to swap out as things went wrong. But you can't have everything. And main thing with all this, if you're doing the immigration process here in Spain, is relax. Don't get too stressed about it. Things take as long as they take. The main thing is not letting things stress you out or bother you. We come away from the meeting on Saturday. It was on Friday. Friday it broke down. Come back from the meeting with a couple of requirements we need to get. We'll do that and then go back there. If they want something else, you just do it until they're happy. And once they're happy, that's it. You're through that hurdle. It's not something to worry about. Everybody has that issue. Oh, sorry, Graham, I didn't see you there. You're under a mic here. Graham's Life 24 had the dried fish yet? Yes, yes, I have. If you look on my Instagram, I think it's actually in the Instagram. We had some of the. We have like I can't remember the name of it. April's the one for the names for food. I like cooking food. I like eating food, but a lot of time I do not know the names of them. That's what April keeps up to speed with. Me, I'm just somebody who eats it all. So yeah, I've eaten dried fish, and we come from the Philippines before we come to Spain. So dried fish is part of the stable diet. Um, People eat dried fish probably at least 3 times a week. So it's very normal for us. Same with anchovies. People love anchovies, octopus, baby squid, calamari. Yeah, we eat all that. um, I do have my limitations though. I think I say it's a limitation. It's just I haven't actually thought. I want to try that. That's balut, which is basically the. It's it's a embryo in an egg. That's quite a delicacy in the Philippines. I haven't thought that looks tasty. I'll try that. But it is quite common in the Philippines to eat that. But yeah, I do have some limitations. Eating crickets and stuff, I'd probably give it a go as a bit of a party piece. But yeah, seeing the chick in the egg, it just doesn't seem natural to me. um, so vehicle repairs. I want to bring up Andy at Cattrall. Andy's a good mechanic over at Cattrall. It's a fair journey from me. It's about half an hour's drive, which is a problem when the van's broken down. But the tow guys would take me there, and the problem I had on Friday is after the stress of doing the immigration stuff, having the kids in my ear roll while we're broken down for a while. I didn't really want to take everybody over to Cattrall while the van was getting fixed, so I got it brought to the house. We'll see if I can fix it myself. If I can't, I'll get them to tow it over to Cattrall to have him fix it. The local garage here, I wouldn't touch with a barge pole. I'll just say that in the sense that he whipped me off last time, and speaking to several people in the area, they've all said the same. It starts off as a small job, and the next thing it keeps adding and adding and adding. And it's not because there's something wrong with the vehicle. I'll leave it at that. But yeah, so Andy over at Cattrall, he's a British guy, been doing Volkswagens for years. He was trained with Volkswagens, and one of the reasons we sort of cross over is he likes the T4s. Well, because my van's a T4. So we've got some stuff in same hobby. So one of the things I've got with Andy is that I get my spare parts from him because he's got some old vans in there. So I go in and say, "Can I have the handle off that? Can I have the bumper off that one?" And like the alloy wheels I've got, they come off another car up there as well. So yeah, Andy's place is pretty good. Um, I know he sells some cars from time to time as well. So if you needed a little car, a little run around, it's worth having a look, having a chat with him because he might have something. The good thing with a good mechanic is it's going to be something worth driving, because a lot of the vehicles here I wouldn't touch with a barge pole. The reason I got this van is because it could be repaired. I didn't want anything newer because as soon as it starts going electronic, I start needing to go main dealer, etc. And it just starts getting expensive. Yeah, because old cars here, well, I say old, I mean secondhand. Secondhand cars don't get looked after in the same way as they do in the UK. Um, I think the Spanish just treat them like they just use it until they want another one. It's not seen as a pride and joy a lot of the time. It's just seen as something that gets you from A to B. So in that sense, a lot of vehicles don't get looked after. I mean, so some of the ones I looked at before I bought the van, I think they were more suitable to put in a crusher than put on the road. But yeah, I do find the MOTs here, the old ITV, a lot more lenient as well. But um, uh, we're not, the vehicles sound anyway. The emissions is sound, bodywork sound. It's just sorting out the engine. They're sorting out a fuel issue. But it's a good old vehicle. I mean, the other thing is I've got all the awning, so it's good for camping. I've got it's got a 200-watt solar panel and battery system on it as well. So it's set up for camping. But yeah, certainly Graham's Life 24. I will do the dried fish. I'll video it just to prove that I do eat dried fish. But I actually do like it as well. That's probably the strangest thing. But I do like the anchovies in the salad as well, with a bit of green salad, bit of olive oil in that. Really nice. There's a good restaurant not far from here. Well, I say not far. It's still about 20 minutes drive. Paco's, which is really, really good. I'll be heading out there. I think I'll go to there to do the dried fish stuff because I do like the restaurant and their food's always really, really nice. Traditional Spanish restaurant. Um, yeah. Now, one of the things I want to say about the working in Spain, though, I know a lot of people are trying to come over to live in Spain, but a lot of the time it's much easier to set up before you arrive. Like teaching English online, you can do that from anywhere. Now, if you're already in a job in the UK, you could start doing it part time in the evenings and start building up a portfolio of your teaching, but also you find you get more work from other students. That if a student likes you, then the next thing is they'll recommend you to somebody else, and you'll find you get more work from that than actually advertising or anything else, because word of mouth is always the best thing for it. So like teaching English, setting up a eBay shop and things like that. There's a lot of things you can do without actually having to be in Spain. And the reason I say doing that, I mean, even YouTube, doing these YouTube videos, there's money in doing YouTube because if you're coming over as a single person or a couple, or you just want to experiment, see if you like Spain, those sort of things, you don't need a big income. You really don't. If you like I say, if you watch that, the reason I bring up bargain loving Brits is some of those guys are not living on a lot of money, and they're happy with it. And the whole point is, if you can say, right, well, how much are they living on a month? Would I be happy living like that? Would I be? Would that be a good starting point for me? Well, financially, if you're happy with that and you can achieve it before you even get to Spain, you're already at day one. You've already hit the ground running. You're already arriving knowing every month you got X coming in from teaching Spanish, well, teaching English. Teaching Spanish is another one as well, Spanish to English people. Um, but there's a lot of opportunities there that are more global, they're more internet based, etc. And I know a lot of people aren't very techy, and I can understand some of that, but teaching English doesn't need that. It's not that complicated. It really isn't. Once you understand the 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 setup, you getting Skype or whatever, you can keep it very simple and still do it. Because if you go through a school, an online teaching school, they will tell you what setup you need, and it'll probably take you an afternoon to learn anything you don't know. But once you got it, you're within a month or so, you're a tech guy on it. You understand it. Um, so it is worth it. And like I said, it's much easier to do that than come to Spain, got a bit of a budget, and it starts burning a hole in your pocket. Well, it does because you're still in holiday mode. So you start spending money. Um, rather than arriving in Spain with a little pot of money plus having a regular income to keep things ticking over. That's why we survive here because we have money coming in anyway. The last 2 weeks I've been working on websites. And once that website's up and running, that I'm working on, I think that'll actually cover most of our bills. All the electric bills, the rent, all the household bills will be covered from that alone. Um, and like I said, not everybody's techie, and I'm not saying that's for everybody. That's why I won't go into it in too much detail. But what I am saying is you can make this money before you even get here. Because finding work locally isn't easy. I mean, you can go around in holiday season and find stuff, but if you can make money before you arrive, much easier. It really is because you haven't got the pressure of having to find money because you're still in your current job. You can work on something in the evenings, develop a new skill. For example, I'm doing. I can actually pick locks and stuff. I was a locksmith a while back, and we had a lock job yesterday. Someone who's asked me to have a look at a lock for them. And I don't have any tools here, so I've started getting some gear together for that because I'll probably open up doing the locksmithing gear as a part-time thing just for emergency uses. Premium rates, 110 euros. um, Easy money. If I did 2 jobs a week, that pays all the bills in the house. Simple as that. So yeah, there is money out there. There is money out there. There is people that need your services, people that need your help. And I will say, what you probably say, 110 euros. That's the going rate on it. I know somebody on one of the Facebook forums had been charged 530. I have no idea why they paid it. 530 is crazy. 110. Um, if you're in La Mata, I'll probably open your door for about 30 euros. If I'm not anywhere else, I've done. I used to do it in the UK. I used to get people call me up, and I'll say, "Well, I'm on the way home. Do you want me to pop in on the way back? Go and have a cup of coffee or whatever at the local pub or something, because I'll charge you 30 quid to open it. Otherwise, you can call somebody else and they'll want at least 60 quid, if not more. So go and have yourself a coffee because I'll do it a lot cheaper. There's a lot of opportunities with having some skills here because at the end of the day, there's a lot of properties, stuff around properties. There's a market for stuff around tourism. There's a market for, but ultimately, I think it's easier to start an eBay shop type business, or doing something like teaching English online. Because the thing with the English, it doesn't need to be Spain. You can start off with teaching it to Asians. I teach to Asians mainly. Now, the thing with that is, it's regular work, it's steady work, and it's not difficult. The good thing is you can earn enough in 20 hours a week to actually pay your monthly bills. Can't get much better than that. Work 20 hours a week and then off to the beach or doing whatever your hobby is. That's the reason we're in Spain, isn't it? Although we work, we don't want to work too hard. I know a lot of people do work a lot of hours here, but a lot of that is because they work for other people. Um, People have to be aware that you can work a bit easier. You know, at the end of the day, you don't need to be working so hard for somebody else when you can actually generate some money working from home, doing something yourself. I mean, one of the things I was doing today, we were at the Torreja football, is I was looking at some of the units because we may open a small restaurant here in La Mata. But I'm going around shopping around the restaurants, seeing what's available, seeing what's equipment's in them, seeing what locations are like, and getting a better understanding of what's worth doing. Because there's a lot of lemons in the sense that there are businesses you would open up and be bust within 6 months. Plenty of those around. But at the same time, if you do it right, have something unique or interesting or something that can draw in more people, there's a market for it. Always is. That's why some people survive and some people fail. Because if you do your homework, you've got a good chance of survival, or turn around and go, it ain't going to work. When people, it's a bit like the pub industry. When people go, you know what, I'm going to when I retire, I'm going to open a pub. And it's like, have you worked in them? No, but I've drank in them for 20 years. And you're like, it's a little bit different to that. It's, you know, the pub industry is not an easy job. It's not an easy industry to be in at all. So be aware of that. If you want to get into the bar trade or whatever, it's not an easy job to do. You've got, you know, when you got to get up early for the, I mean, it's a bit different in Spain, but you got the drayman in the UK, and then you got the late nights dealing with keeping things like events ticking over so that you've constantly got people coming to see things going on in the pub. There's always a lot of stuff going on, front of house and back of house, you know, and everything in between. Enough to keep you busy all the time. I'm just thinking what else to cover today. Yeah, so the residency was a big thing today. I'm just looking forward to getting that finished. That has been my Achilles heel. I'm just hoping that'll be finished very, very soon, and then on the route to citizenship. Um, yeah, because my wife's from the Philippines. My kids are like half Filipino, half British. So I'm just wanting to get all that done and dusted. Could we have gone to the UK? Of course we can. But I'm in Spain, the same reason everyone else is. They come to Spain for a better life. People that go to the UK have reasons for being in there, whatever. But for me, I love Spain. I love the way it is. I love the environment. I love the fact that I sit between Salt Lakes and the nature park, and the other side a beach. Got sunshine every day, near enough. Although some days it's not very hot. Although lately it looks like the weather's on the turn for the better. About time. I couldn't believe we had snow. When was it? A couple of months back. First time in, I think, 90 years, or at least 90 or 96 years, I think it was. But yeah, beyond that, Spain's pretty good. It's just bureaucracy. The bureaucracy on the paperwork. We get that done. I think that's for us. Everything else will settle down and be much, much easier. And I find it very stress free in comparison to the UK. I think the UK, things have become too expensive, and too many people are chasing the money. I know I get job offers on a regular basis relating to the industry I'm in, and I saw a lot of the salaries haven't gone up since 2000. I mean, some of them have been gone up since the 90s. It's when they go, we have this spectacular offer, and you go, I was getting paid more than that 10 years ago. But you get a car. It's like, no, I get taxed on a car. Um, yeah. So for me, I recommend Spain. I love Spain, but I do to come here, do a bit of planning, work out exactly what you want and what you need. Because what you want and what you need are two different things. That's an important thing. You may want to go jet skiing and scuba diving every day, but what you need is to pay your bills and have say, a two-bedroom apartment instead of a villa. Because a villa may be what you want, but your budget may not allow it. So you need an apartment. um, but anyway, I'm going to cut this one off. But if you're interested in asking any specific questions or want to know about something, please leave them in the comments, and basically I'll respond to them. Because what I'll do, I think, with these vlog things, I've got to work a time slot out that works. Because I know somebody's going to go, "Why are you doing it at midnight?" The answer is I've got two young kids that are noisy. They're on YouTube. Um, I've got to do it when they're in bed. They went to bed earlier, but when they go to bed, they're then listening to. Well, they like having lullabies on at night for some reason lately. Um, so yeah, I do it late at night because it's a bit of quiet time. But thanks for everybody who's joined us, and hope you enjoyed it. That's the important thing. This is the first one. Um, thanks for watching.